Why, hello there, fellow chemists. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan, episode 62. When in doubt, just add more filters. Don't forget to name the filter. Good call. Before I forget, this is the night gas filter. Okay. I need one more vent. And now this is a bad spot for cabinet, obviously, because of where I put that, but, you know, problems for later. So let's go get a passive vent. And it's daytime, so tomorrow night we should have the logic done and it should be working. That's at least the goal. Pressure in the farm is dropping. So, yeah. So steel and silicon. We definitely gonna want more silicon too. All right. Let's get the passive vents on. Hopefully I remember like where they're supposed to go. Big if, we'll see. So the intake is easy to figure out. That's here. That'll work. Oh. No, there's something blocking there. Yeah, there's some pipe network that's in the way. That'll work. And then the other one. Done. With all that done, all we have left is to set up the logic and then let it run. So if I've set up the passive vents correctly, I should be able to use my tablet. Oh god, I have so many pipes. And yes, that's ambient outside air at 669 Celsius. And that's the waistline because it's just a passive vent that goes up. And the intake vent should be the same thing. 668. Yep. And this confirms that they're set up correctly. All right. Then the rest of the owl. So, the way the logic compare is it saying if the outside is less than the memory, and then if the pressure is less than the memory, and when both are true, turn on the gas filter. So now we just have to hook up the gas filter and then just make sure it works. So the input here is this gate unit, which should be named night gas logic gate. And then the output is the night gas filtration, whether it is on or not. And this should be night gas logic writer. Okay, hypothetically, it's done. We might need a batch writer if we aren't getting enough intake gas. I don't really know what the flow rate of the filter is. And if it's not enough, what I can do is I can put down floors here and like have a few different filters pulling from a few different areas so that we have more input gas. But I think this is all set up. So at the moment, obviously we don't have any night gas, but tonight that should start filling up on its own if I've set it up correctly. The other thing I wanted to do is then to repurpose that mega vent to be able to flush the dump line. So that's the next project. Set up the mega vent for a dump gas flush. So what this is a little reminder, all of the excess heat that we build up in our base is all put into one big tank. And that mega tank is supposed to refresh, but sometimes it needs a little bit of like manual rebooting. Now at the moment it's actually not very hot. But it will be. And I'm also pressurizing the farm while I'm here. So yeah, the pressure of the farm's going back up. I'm going to run out of carbon dioxide before I get... Yeah, I've already run out. But we put 500 moles of carbon dioxide in the farm, so it went from 70-something kPa to 80-something kPa. I mean, it's not in any threat of depressurization yet. It's just something to keep an eye on because we rely on that farm for rocket fuel. Let's do some food and water. And then repurpose that mega vent, and then start working on the mining rocket. And I'll have you guys polled about mining rocket stuff. Yes, and I'm using the filter as a passive pump. That is indeed correct. That way a pump doesn't need to turn on or off. In fact, that means that our night gas plumbing for intake is like 5 watts. Just for the filter. The logic wall obviously requires more, but still. Cheap and easy. Probably going to need some insulator pipes? Yes, on me, yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's go grab the vent. So what is the first step here? Angle grinder? Next step is a wrench. Next step is a hand drill. Alright. Pull the cables out. And this vent is going to be set up to flush the waste gas, which is in this brown tank. So I essentially want is to figure out where I can install a mega vent next to the waste gas line. Maybe here. 'Cause it's somewhat close to the brown line. I can even have it like just off the This is so unbelievably jank. You know, I'll do it like this. Because it won't send me like into low orbit. Or it might. Alright. And then put the electronic parts back in. And then weld the plastic back on. Cool. Alright, I want brown. I'm just going to grab it here. Rather than go all the way to my master pipe. And, yeah, this is going to be really easy. I'm, like, basically done. I just need to figure out where to plug it in, and that is it. Because otherwise this vent would not have served a purpose. The other thing I could have done with it is to, I'm just going to leave the plug hanging so I know how to connect to it. The other thing I could have done with it is to, got 2 more or one more, and then like set up a super fast flow airlock, but I'm not doing that right now. Alright, so where is that? Where did I... where is the cable that I'm supposed to plug in? I have no idea. Here, cable. Alright, hypothetically, this is... Oh yeah, it's on. It's working. It's running. And there we go. I mean, obviously, I have almost no pressure in there. But, did it drop into the greenhouse? I don't think it did. I don't know where the cable... I'll have to go back outside to figure out... Oh, is it? It's right there. Because, yeah, obviously, this is the vent. Okay. But, yeah, the logic for the night gas intake has worked. I guess it really... I guess I really don't care how this is plugged in exactly, so I'm just going to run cable down along the window. To the window! To the... Never mind. And the good news is, it's nighttime. Which means it is the perfect time for me to actually flush night gas. So, let's go do that. Come on. Get down here. I'm trying to make these back into orange. So once this micro project is done, we'll start to work on a rocket. So taking a look at our night gas temps. You know what? That's actually as cool as it's really ever going to be. It can only really go down to about 150 or so because of the pollutants. Right, because if we flow this out, and I should start flying. If we outflow this to dump heat, we're just going to pull in new pollutant that will overpressurize. Whatever. I can leave it there. But yeah, as you can see, the night gas holding tank is, it's being siphoned from pretty quickly, so it's, I'm not amassing any, but it is working. Alright, I definitely need another carbon dioxide filter. And then we'll start working on rocketry. Darn, try to throw it through. Didn't work. So, as it is now, I don't have a net positive amount of carbon dioxide. So, we're at 80.2, and we'll just have to, like, check later to see if it's net positive. Because it obviously needs to be. If it's not net positive, I need another filter. But the volatiles is going up, and that is the more important part, because volatiles is our rocket fuel. Cheers. Yeah, I'm still pumping in the farm. I know. That's why I'm saying net positive, not positive, because obviously it's positive. I'm gaining some, but it looks like it's net positive because this is now 81, which means I'm generating more. I'm generating more carbon dioxide than I'm using in the farm, which then means it can pool in the storage tanks, which then means I can actually pressurize a propellant canister. That's essentially what I meant by that. Okay, I want to check on the... Because I've been tinkering with everything, I want to check on, make sure all the air conditioners and everything is on correct states. Because, I was definitely hacking apart the power networks and doing all sorts of other things. And, yeah, everything looks fine. The night gas looks totally fine. The logic seems to be working. We are in a net positive volatile situation. That's great. Okay, now that all that is done, we can start working on a miner rocket. Build a mining rocket. So the question I have for you guys through polling is, what should we mine? Water, ice, or O2, CO2, ice? Them's the two choices. I'll give you 5 minutes to decide. And if it's what, so just to talk about it a little bit, either way, they're going to come out at like basically 0 Celsius. Water can be obviously split into oxygen and hydrogen, which becomes rocket fuel. And O2 and CO2 are useful for other reasons. CO2 for the farm, O2 for rocket fuel. Either way works. My 2 cents, water ice might be a little bit more efficient because CO2 is readily available. So if you think of water ice as oxygen and hydrogen, well, I guess I could see it either way. Because the planet here is made of hydrogen and CO2. And what we need is O2 and water. So, yeah, but whatever. However you want to vote. But let's start building that rocket. As soon as I want to look at the map again. I want to see our beautiful... Oh, yes. More lines. More diamonds. Yeah. I have no idea where we are on this map, but, like, you know. That's the map of Vulcan. Colorized for deep drilling. So the, back to rocket building. Just as a recap from last stream, just because if you weren't here, this is going to be confusing otherwise. Rockets. So out on our launch pad, we have a launch mount already. What we do not have is an engine mount or the pump gas engine. Like, we need to start from there. So let's get the engine mount first, which is part of the fuselage kit. And this is why I made like a whole bunch of steel, because I knew that rocket building requires just an immense amount of steel. And in fact, let's move all of our resources into that printer, because that will allow me to get quick stock of what we're lacking, which does look like gold. Our gold looks pretty low. Much more comfortable. Another thing we want to do is to make a batch of water. Because, oh, you know what? We have some fuel in the fuel line already. There. I do see the sun up. So, yep, the filter unit is off because the sun came out. And it got hot. Perfect. So it looks like this is working as intended. Unfortunately, there's no gas left in it because we pulled it all out for Voldals. So what I can do in this instance is, I might need to increase the filter rate of the... I might need to make a bunch of filters to filter a lot more gas. Because in a given night, I don't know if we're getting enough Voldals to really get a launch going. What I'm worried about is I'll finish building the rocket and we'll still won't have the fuel for the rocket at the rate we're going. So I might want to take a break and turn the logic writer into a batch writer and then get a whole bunch of night gas filtration units, like 3 or 4 or something. I'll pull on that in a minute so that it's your responsibility. So here we go. This is the engine mount. Then we want the pump gas rocket engine. And I am very, very, very low on gold. Not very hard to get, but that should be one of the first things we mine up. The pressure is lower because we ran out of CO2 because it's daytime. That's why it's going down. Because we don't grab CO2 from atmosphere when when it's hot out. Now, looks like water ice is going to be the popular choice here for what we mine. All right, side question for you guys. So the engine mount costs steel sheets to make. And then, so that's one steel sheet. Let's go grab that. So what I'll do is I'll put this on the launch pad, and then I'll probably get more filtration units. I don't think I'm going to leave it up to pulling. I think I just simply need it. It's, not up to pulling. I'm definitely not generating enough gas as it is yet. And it's not very expensive to scale. And then the pump gas engine requires 5 pipes, 4 steel sheets. I'm gonna set this up on the launch pad and then get gold for filtration units. Because we're just about out. And I think I'm just about out of silicon too, so that's another must-have. Okay, there's the engine mount. And we weld it to finish. And this rocket now physically exists, which means I can run a raffle for it. And then the pump gas engine with, I'm going to say power and off to the right. I think that's the same way we did the last one. But if not, that's how I'm doing this one. All the same. So we got a launch engine. And here is the raffle for the raffle timer for this miner rocket. Current priority is add more night gas filters. Because, yeah, we aren't getting enough. Ah, well. Did we need copper? It couldn't hurt to get. I know for sure we needed silicon, but I'll just run this copper through the arc furnace. Hey, Zappo. Thank you for the resub, man. Always a pleasure to have you here. Good luck in the raffle, I guess. Is that... Yeah, that's gold. Sweet. Well, that's not a lot of gold. I'll go for another node. Man, I can only imagine if you're colorblind, like, how hard it would be to differentiate shades here. Like, silicon and silver are like the same color. Copper and gold are just about the same color. That should be, hopefully, enough material for this launch. Didn't take me too long to get. The glasses are just invaluable. It's just so much easier to amass resources that way. Alright, my waste tank is really not that full yet. I would have thought I would have been more full. I'm going to run the gold through the furnace. And then after running the gold through the furnace, which will heat up the furnace because gold outgasses oxygen, I'll run the copper through it too. And then the silicon is going to go through the arc because it has nitrogen. Seems like a good game plan. As long as this doesn't get, like, explodey. No, it's just fine. Okie dokie. 152 more gold and 136 copper. That should help with our rockets. Or actually, with our filtration first. So stick it in there. With that said, iron's rather low, but iron's really easy to run through an arc furnace. It's by far the fastest through an arc furnace. Alright, Rocket, your name is... The Dastardly Dave. I don't think I can name it from here. I'm also going to need another logic uplink. So, once I get back out to the runway, I'll name the Dave. Okay. So, planning-wise, we're going to want some air... filtration units. Or atmospheric units. Start to print those up. And I'm going to say like 4, maybe. Because I want to be overkill, not underkill, because I don't want to return back and be like, oh, I need some more. Because, like, I just want to be done with this, right? So we'll do 4 total. So here comes the fourth. The other thing is, and I don't actually have the answer to this, do I have to have it fed off of different intake pipes? Is the flow rate of a passive vent great enough to outflow the intakes of the filtration units? Probably, but I don't have that memorized. So each atmospheric unit will require pipes to make. So let's, what is it? I think it's 2 pipes per. Yeah, it just is 2. I don't need to check that. Does anyone dislike the new mechanics for the drills? I don't, because it allows you to be more strategic rather than to, like, shotgun a whole bunch. But I could see it either way. The other thing we're going to need for this is, like, cables, because I'm almost out of cables. And then the Invar, Stellite, and Steel are going back in so that I can make the filters too. Cable? I think I should have steel frames over here because I'm not going to be able to float the... The plan is to put the filtration units... Am I really out of steel frames? I guess I don't really see any. Oh, wow. I am out. Okay. Because, yeah, you can't have the filtration units float, so I'll build a steel frame and then put a floor underneath it after the fact. Alright, that should be enough cables, hopefully. Just put my steel back in here, and now I'm going to have to pull it out again. And here comes the silicon. I mean, it's rather slow through the arc furnace, but it does increase the amount of nitrogen we have available, so I figured it's worth it because I don't need it in a hurry. So we have 1.2 kilomoles of nitrogen now. Way more than we had before. Okay, so what I'm hoping to do is to just line up a whole bunch of filter units on here with temporarily welded, do I even need to weld it? I might not even need to. Let's see if I don't. And to have them all in series or in parallel or whatever. No, I don't even need to weld it. I might want to be up a level, though, because of all these pipes. I don't want to interfere with the pipes. So, I'm going to move the frames up 1. So that they're more out of the way. And I'll be moving all of the air conditioners up here. So I'm just going to weld it so I can physically stand on it. Not that it's required for the filters itself. So this was the waistline. And that, I guess, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the logic writer. Ooh, you know what? What time is it? It's, I don't want to interfere with nighttime filtration. because I don't want to run out of carbon dioxide gas, so I'm gonna leave that alone for now. But eventually what I'll do is I'll line this up so that here. And here. So the unfiltered can all be flushed outside. So after tonight, I'm planning on pulling up the filter that I have down there, which means the closet's like open again. And then setting all these bad boys up so that they can be our new filter units. Because we're absolutely running into an issue of volume. Alright, I have one more filter down there to grab. How do we go? S. Man, the up and down is so different in this game than like every other game. There's so many controls in this game that are like different that like my brain goes for a loop every time. Alright, so now that the night gas filter is on, the farm should be repressurizing. The other thing, if we run really low, I especially because I'm grabbing a whole bunch of silicon from the arc furnace, I know that we could repressurize the room with nitrogen, because it's still 70% CO2 at 70 kPa. I mean, it's not at like crop loss risk. The only difference is the temperature here. That's the thing to look at, because we are pushing in hotter CO2, because I didn't have cooler night gas available. Now, if I put the filter here, it's going to be obnoxious to change the filters, so I won't. Maybe what I'll do is have to be on 2 different levels. I think that makes the most sense. So I'm going to want 2 more frames, so I don't overcrowd it. And with that in mind, maybe I'll pull these units one whatever away from the wall. I think that will be a cleaner, more sustainable solution, so I'm gonna do that. I don't know why I thought I could fit it in. That's fine. 'Tis be fixed. So you filter here. And filter here. And changing these filters are not going to be obnoxious. There's enough space for me to walk around, and I'll just stack them. Cool Whip. Thank you for the sub. Whip. So I need 2 more frames. I'll also just probably go for food and water. Nah, I can wait. I'll do frames first. And then I plan on putting 4 flat walls down. I think I already have some flat walls. Which means I really didn't need the frames, but whatever. And then sheets for the flat walls. Because I can remove the frame, put the flat wall. It doesn't. Whatever. It's all the same in the end. So now that these AC units are installed on the frame, I can remove the frame here and put flat walls down so it doesn't, you know, take up room or whatever. There. That looks almost intentional. All right. It is day out. So I can pull up the last filter, and I'm turning off the logic writer so that the filter is not controlled by logic anymore. The one we already have installed, because I'm physically moving it. Because I'm going to be moving all the plumbing and everything. So for now, I'm going to put these heavy filters away, because I just don't have room for them at the moment. What is it, wrench? Yeah.
Hydration critical.
Okay, I hear you. I'm almost done with this phase. And then a filtration unit. No, that's in the wrong spot. Kind of hard to tell when I'm not standing on it. Filtration unit there. Nope, again, wrong spot. I'll get it eventually. Alright, and here. I think. Yeah, that looks about right. So now they're like vertically aligned. And that'll be easier to plumb because they're all lined up. Now I know the urgency of finishing this project is pretty real because, like, farms running out of gas. There is some, like, things I could, levers I could pull to prevent that from being an issue. Like, taking my, my spare, propellant canister and just, like, farting it out in the farm or something like that. So, if we get close to crop apocalypse, I'll take those measures, but I don't think I'm going to need to at the moment. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Stationeers.